Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Women Love Sports. This is Tiffany.
It's Matt.
And we are back here on September 23rd looking at the NFL season. What is going on? You know, we spent a lot of time last week discussing the replacement refs. So, in good fashion, we are going to pick up right where we left off because it has not gotten any better. And last week, right after, we spoke on Sunday, I believe it was either Tuesday or Wednesday, the NFL released a letter out to the owners telling them to make their teams and players and such stop bashing the replacement refs. So that was kind of odd because they were, definitely were trying to say, don't talk bad, don't do this, don't do that. Well, right at the same time that they were doing that, the refs, the official refs that are on strike right now, released a letter out to NFL owners asking them to please get this lockout ended. The refs went on hand saying that, this is kind of the same violation that they had with the players in the league being locked out. They went to the Players Association, and the Players Association, along with Drew Brees and 12 other players who are either in the league or are former players, released a letter saying that your decision to lock out the officials with more than 1,500 years of collective NFL experience has led to the deterioration of order, safety, and integrity. This affirmative decision is not only resulted in poor calls, missed calls, bad game management, but a combination of those deficiencies will only continue to jeopardize players' health, safety, and the integrity of the game that is taking decades to build. So the players clearly, as fans, we're not happy. The players are not happy. The players went on to say, as players, we see this game as more than the product that you reference at times. And this was directed directly at Commissioner Roger Goodell, but they said they see it as more than the product that he references it as, and you cannot simply switch to a group of cheaper officials to fulfill your legal, moral, and duty of obligations to us and our fans. We need to end the lockout and bring back the officials immediately. So that's crazy. How do you feel about that being said about the officials?
I mean, it's definitely about money. I mean, even with the lockout with the players, the owners, they don't want to spend that money. They don't want to have to cut into their fair share. So I mean, once again, it's the players, being cheap, trying to go the cheaper route. But at the same time, you got to look at some of the stupid injuries, the injuries that should not have happened, and especially the ones that have gone unnoticed and unpunished. So when that happens, obviously the game is just going to be, it's you might as well just not even have a ref. I mean,
Right.
that's pretty much how the game is going to get to. There's no need to have a ref if your ref isn't going to call the calls. No way.
Now, while we're talking about different injuries and different, I guess, just stupid things that are happening with the refs and with players, today something crazy happened in the Cowboys game. They said Kevin Ogletree slipped on a ref's hat in the end zone. Like, what is going on?
I was reading about it, and you can't really blame the ref. I think the replacement ref is the fact that he's a replacement ref, but it's a normal thing. Okay, so what happens is anytime you have a receiver who goes out of bounds, that receiver is automatically ineligible. And traditionally, a ref would throw his hat to mark out that player so they don't forget, who it is, and they can still pay attention to the game. Well, instead of throwing it down, he threw it at his feet, and when he threw it at his feet, he slipped.
Replacement, but it's just another show of the lack of training, the lack of not. I mean, clearly he knew I need to throw my hat down, but seeing how he's not an NFL ref, he's not an NFL official, he's not used to where that hat is supposed to go. He's not used to the playing style. Heck, this may be the flag football ref, so he may not.
Even still, but even still, it may be a good thing. It may something good may come out, but just the simple fact that, okay, so we had several years ago when the ref threw his flag and it knocked out the guy's eye. So now, now refs don't throw it at you; they got to throw it up in the air. So maybe that's what they do. Maybe now they'll.
But you know what? Obviously, like we said, the officials have dealt with this thing before. So maybe a regular NFL official already knows. Like, how many of you want to bet that there's an official watching the game with his official buddies going, you see what just happened? If we was there, that wouldn't happen.
Well, I'm quite sure everybody's watching the game. And I'm quite sure they're all upset.
And then let's go back to last week's Cowboys game. We all seen Golden Tate deliver what is now known as the $21,000 hit. And no call, not one call was made. I'm sorry, a call was made. At that exact same time, they made a call against the Cowboys for a delayed hit that they called unnecessary roughness when all the player did was push the other player out of bounds with his hands on his shoulders, pushed him out of bounds. He got a call when Lee was blind. I mean, it was a blatant, dirty, nasty hit. And after that, it was some very bad celebratory things going on with Tate and the number jiving and all of that. It was ridiculous. And then you seen 2 days later the fine get thrown, and there we had it. The most you can get fined for a hit, Golden Tate got it.
I mean, and he should have, and they probably should have fined him more with at least a 1-2 game suspension, because I mean, he knows, and the players know, because the players go through the rules when they first get introduced to the league.
Mm-hmm.
They sit through the class, and as boring as it may be, but they have to sit through the class because they don't want ignorance to be part of part of an excuse. They don't want it to be an excuse. So I mean, with that being said, I think they should have done more to it, but nonetheless he.
But is that another coup for the refs? Is that another coup for the NFL refs to say, do you see what's going on? Do you see what's being allowed? Clearly, the fact that you had to go back and fine someone for a hit that didn't even get a flag. Like, it's one thing to fine someone because a call was made, and then later on you find out how much that fine was. It's a totally different thing when there was not a call made in the first place. So, to me, all of these ridiculous calls and these, that was a big career move. Like, that could have been, a career-ending move had it hit one way or the other. But things like that, to me, would be red flags to say, we need our refs back. But it seems like with the NFL, that's not happening. It seems like all that did was fuel them to say, don't talk about it. I mean, that was a big thing that people were talking about, and it fueled a letter saying, don't talk bad about our refs.
I mean, but the thing is, when you get to the more competitive sports, when you get to high school, college, and even, the pros, the ref's main concern is protecting the players from injuries, and this is a prime example of even whatever type of experience you have, even if you're close to that level, even if you're aspiring, this is something you should know. This is something that you should be doing, and yet and still, I don't know, it's because they're nervous, because they're officiating the game in front of hundreds of thousands of people, but still, I mean, you still have to do your job, and you still have to pay attention to what's going on,
And we talked before, the refs that are there, that are officiating now, we have some school teachers, we have some flag football refs, we have some Pee Wee League refs. They're not, I think there's a couple Division III refs going in there, but you don't even see the quality of refs that are aspiring to be NFL refs. You don't see the top Division I college refs. You don't see the Arena League. You just don't see those top quality refs being these scabs or these replacement refs, because just like we talked about with the NFL and with the NBA during their lockout, if you decide to be this a scab ref or whatever, you are then blacklisted once this lockout is over. Once they have signed their paperwork and they're done, you're blacklisted. And you will not have a career as a NFL ref ever. So those people who are maybe those next, best thing are not going to do this. They still have those hopes and wishes and dreams and aspirations to being a rep. So they're not going to do it. And these people who are like, well, whatever, I'm make some money now and then go back to teaching later, they're going to do it.
Give us a call. Let us know what you think. 805-720 or 727-7099.
And we are going to move on to a record that was broken today. Larry Fitzgerald. So Larry Fitzgerald broke the youngest yards reached in receptions.
It was Larry Fitzgerald is the youngest active wide receiver to reach 700 receptions.
And he broke the record that was held by none other than Jason Witten. So Jason Witten did it at the age of 30. I think Matt broke it down today. It was 30 years and
133 days.
133 days.
Larry Fitzgerald, he's 29 years, 23 days old when he did it. And it's something, it is something that shows that once he gets out the league, once he retires, look at him applying for the Hall of Fame.
Yes, definitely. Hall of Fame. We already know that Jason Witten is a Hall of Famer. Jason Witten is a Ring of Honor player. I mean, what was that little twitch thing you just did? You don't think Jason Witten is a Ring of Honor?
No, I was no.
I'm like, now what would be the argument for that one? If not for Jason Witten, then who? I think we know somehow Tony Romo is going to get in there. I am a Cowboys fan. I love my boys, but Tony. I mean, did anybody see the game today? Dez, that was a beautiful, beautiful return. Dez got you to the 10-yard line, and Tony still could not capitalize on that.
I mean, but you can't blame it on him. I mean, there was a penalty. No, there was a penalty that pushed him back. The 10-yard penalty. Other than that, that very next play after DeMarco Murray's run to the left side, the very next play was going to be.
I have to admit, Tony is. I see a change in him this year, and I've said before, I think it's fatherhood, being a father, being a husband. I think that changes you, and that changes how you lead. So I think Tony Romo is stepping into more of a leadership role this year. So I look forward to seeing what he's going to continue to do this year. We got the W today. It was not a pretty one. It was not a clean one. It was our defense was something to be proud of. Our offense was something that, I mean, we could have had a better game. But what is there to say? We got the W, and that's all that matters. But next week, we going to see them boys with them Bears. So the boys and boys. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I know I'm going to see some very colorful talks from my Facebook friends. I primarily have a lot of listeners, viewers, fans that are from up north, from the Milwaukee, Chicago area. So, and we all know up in Wisconsin, they are kind of split between the Bears and the Packers. So it will definitely be a good game. There will be a lot of smack talking going on this week, I know, and I can't wait to see it. Bring it. That's all I got to say.
We'll let next Monday show.
We'll let it show, and we will be airing before the game, actually, because our show airs on Sundays. So I will make sure that I do a special update for that game. And you know what? I'm going to throw in my Packers fans under the bus now, because I am going to hold to that. No matter what the outcome of the game, we will be doing an update of the game. Unlike Aaron Rodgers, who made a bet with Boyz II Men that if they won or lost the game, the 49ers game, he was supposed to wear the jersey, a 49ers jersey, and Boyz II Men would have worn a Packers jersey. We all know the Packers lost that game.
I didn't know Boyz II Men was still a group.
Well, Boyz II Men made a bet with Aaron Rodgers, so apparently they're all friends. And Aaron Rodgers has yet to hold up his end of that bet. And he went on air saying that it was just a joke, it was something funny, and that TMZ blew it out of proportion and made a big deal of it. And then Boyz II Men was like, no, that was a bet. Like, we had our jerseys ready to put on. Had they won, they had already bought their Packers jerseys to put on. So,
Did they return those jerseys?
If I was them, I would return the jersey. I wouldn't be seen in a Packers jersey.
Just burn it or something.
Yeah, something. Set it on fire, pay tribute.
Do a bonfire.
That would be cool. Roast some marshmallows
Especially
over it.
burn ban effect down
Mm-hmm.
here.
Roast a couple of marshmallows. Chestnuts roasting over a Packers jersey. That's kind of how I feel about it. But, Aaron, what's going on? No jersey, not wearing a jersey, not following up on the bet. That's kind of a bad deal.
Well, I mean, and on his behalf, he's doing a State Farm commercial. So you have to let him. Or maybe he can do one during the State Farm commercial. Maybe he can actually wear it.
Oh, I don't think.
Also.
Okay, now that brings the other point. I don't think he can do that. If there's certain things governed by the NFL. Actually, it was something crazy. The NFL can tell every player what to wear up to 30 minutes after the game. So for the first 30 minutes before and the first 30 minutes after the game, the NFL can sanction what each player wears. So it brings up the question, would that be against NFL rules if Aaron Rodgers were to put on an opposing team's jersey?
Well, of course, if there's a ban, he hadn't approved by Goodell and the league. And I'm quite sure they would. I mean, it's a bet. It's just for kicks and giggles. So I'm quite sure even if he went up to him and they said, yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't necessarily be a problem. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of uproar on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, and everywhere else. But I mean, nonetheless, I mean, even if it's something for fun, and especially we get two guys who are a group of guys who are friends. I mean, why not?
But Goodell does not seem like a fun person. Goodell doesn't seem like a person that would see this and laugh at it in stride. I don't know if he seems so uptight and so, like David Stern, I could totally see David Stern doing this. I could see him going for this. I could see, Dwayne having to walk around wearing the Chicago Bulls jersey for a day. I could see that happening. But Roger Goodell just seems really uptight and stuffy and not, it seems like he would just go ballistic if that happened. So, I don't know. But either way, I don't think that that Aaron Rodgers is going to be forthcoming with this bet. It's been this is their third game of the season. So it's been 3 weeks and he has not put on this jersey. And I honestly don't think the backlash of this is going to stop until he puts it on or what, because I mean, clearly we're talking about it. TMZ is talking about it. There's some other, radio stations and things like that talking about it. That no one's gonna stop until we see Aaron Rodgers in a jersey that does not say Packers. I would love to see him in a Cowboys jersey personally. I want to put that bet out there.
As a bet.
Aaron Rodgers, if you guys do not beat the Cowboys, put on a Cowboys jersey. I'll wear a Packers jersey.
I'm not wearing a Packers jersey.
I will wear a Packers jersey. Somebody call that bet. If I can get a bet going, I need somebody of important status on the Packers.
I'll tell you what, I would do one with the Bears. I would do a bet with the Bears. If the Bears beat the Cowboys Monday, I will wear a Bears jersey, shirt, hat. I would do it. Actually, I have a cousin who was a die-hard Bears fan. So Charles, you out there, you hear this? I got you.
Okay, we got a call. Let's hope this isn't the crazy one. What's going on? Let's see. You're on the air with Real Women Love Sports.
what's up, guys? I'm Jake from the Foot Guys here on Blog Talk Radio, and just informing you, Aaron Rodgers claimed that he's not making bet with Alex Smith, that he's wearing his jersey. So, that may be a problem. I don't know where that came from, but he claims he's not making that bet.
Well, Boys to Men actually went on air and said they absolutely made that bet and that they were ready to uphold their end, that they had the jerseys ironed and everything, and they were ready to pull that out.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a bad job by Aaron Rodgers because he really should have lost that game. I still can't believe today the Packers lost to the 49ers, and then the 49ers, had a tough time with the Vikings today. So it tells you a little bit, but that's all I got. I just wanted to, inform you of that.
All right. Well, thank
man.
you for calling in. We will make sure that we're on your show. All right. So, yeah, we have some craziness going on last week with some callers. So if you missed our call-in or our show on YouTube, we just kind of thought it wasn't family appropriate, so we removed that. So we're kind of trying to screen the callers there. But that was a great call. Anybody else have some comments, go ahead and give us a call, 805-727-7099. But I want to pull it out there, if there's anyone out there willing to take Mr. Barnes here up on that bet, he will wear a
if the Bears win, I would wear a Bears jersey shirt, preferably a hat. But I would do it, and as long as it be reciprocated, as long as when the boys win, they'll wear jersey. And actually, what we can do is we can even go to a sports bar, watch the game, from there, and we'll do it from there, and then we can do the show from there. Or at least we can do a YouTube posting of it. We can do that.
Yes, we will. We can have I guess the jerseys on hand, and we'll.
I'm wearing my jersey. It's not gonna be on hand. Mine will already be on.
I'm talking about the Bears jersey in case. Well, they're not gonna lose. Let's put that out there. But
if something happens,
if God forbid someone injures Romo or Dez has a freak out moment, and the Bears slip away with this one, it'll be on hand, and we'll make sure we have that video. Is there anyone who will take Mr. Barnes up on this offer? So. Let's see. What's going on next week?
Outside of the Bears game, I do not know.
We have a lot of things. Actually, let's kind of recap right now. The Broncos and Texans game is going on, and the Texans are up 24-11. You know what? Let's talk Broncos for a minute. What is going on with Peyton? Last week, Peyton it was like, I had several people posting, welcome back to the NFL, Peyton, because he got lit up. Peyton is actually one of my fantasy league players, and at one point in time, he had me -6 points.
Well, I think it looked like this. This is probably the worst he's played since he's entered the league, And to be honest with you, I really thought that he should just hung up the cleats. I thought that's just kind of how he's been playing lately, But nonetheless, he still has some juice in him. Don't get me wrong, but I don't want to see to the point where instead of him retired willingly, he's going to be forced to because of an injury.
I said last year when he had the surgery, and I said then he's going to be out for the season. He was out. I honestly didn't think he would come back. And I said that. I didn't think that he was going to come back. I thought that he would say, okay, this is it for me. I'm hanging it up. I'm done. But he came back. And I thought as a sign of him coming back that was going to mean that he was going to be playing. He was going to be a player. Obviously, that's why I picked him up on my fantasy league. I thought Peyton Manning was going to come back and be Peyton Manning. I thought he was going to be a force to be reckoned with. But now you're kind of sitting back and is anybody out there a Broncos fan? Is anybody else wondering Did the Broncos make a mistake
Or not necessarily
getting
Broncos
rid
fan
of? But no,
Manning.
I'm saying a Broncos fan. Are Broncos fans thinking that they made a mistake giving up Tim Tebow for Peyton Manning?
You know, I don't know, and even coming from looking at it from Tebow's point of view, obviously it's something that happens. You know, you get traded, but when you come into the league and you go to a team where you're expected to be the franchise, and then all of a sudden you get replaced by not somebody younger, because I mean it typically that'll happen. You get replaced by somebody younger, but you get replaced by somebody who's older, somebody who it looks like they are starting to step out of their prime. How, I mean, just let's think of how Tebow would feel, you know, and I'm quite sure he still had. I'm quite sure he has a bitter taste in his mouth, you know.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Last year, Tim Tebow, and even a little bit now, he's still a second string player, but he's a backup quarterback. But it's still a big Tebow hype going on. I mean, last year you had a bunch of kids getting suspended from school for Tebowing in the middle of the hallway. Remember that?
We've been
Tebowing
way before
Tim
Tebow.
It was everywhere. It was the Tebowing sensation. So Tim Tebow was like a big deal. But now it's like Peyton Manning is a big deal. He's Peyton Manning. But do you think that the Broncos maybe got Peyton Manning on his name alone? They kind of did a fantasy league thing. You got Peyton Manning because he's Peyton Manning, and you didn't think, okay, he's an aging Peyton Manning. He just had major surgery, major career-ending surgery. Is he going to come back and be Peyton Manning?
Well, I think that they figure because he is a Manning, he's one of three generations of awesome quarterbacks, that he still has the physical capability to actually come back. You know, and I can see it, and I think it may, as of now, look like it's taking him just a little bit longer for him to get used to being back in the league. You know, after spending the whole year on the sideline, you know, quarterback coach, you know, that. So, and it's a role that he's not used to taking because he's used to being.
I think he did. I mean, given what he had to work with last year as a quarterback coach, I mean, the Colts did not have a good year. I'm not sure if I can even say he would make. I mean, he made an amazing quarterback. So, do I think that would translate to being a good quarterback coach? Absolutely. I think he would be a good quarterback coach given the right talent. But do I think he should have came back this year? My answer is I think both myself and the Broncos made a mistake. I think we should have left Peyton Manning where he was and let him retire like a good little quarterback.
I can actually see Peyton doing a LaDainian Tomlinson and doing a one-day contract with Indianapolis to retire as a Colt. I can see that, and you know the reason why. I mean, part of the reason why they traded him was not only because he's aging the injury, but to free up money. And that's all it is. He was the franchise, so he took up most of the money, and they knew, or at least they figured, he's not going to be the same Peyton.
Well, you know what? Like I said, we're pretty much halfway into, well, more than halfway into this game. We're in the third quarter with 1.33 seconds left. So we have the Texans at 31 and the Broncos at 11. We are 3 weeks into the football season. You tell us, what do you think of Manning? What do you think is going on with Manning? Go ahead and write it on my Facebook. Hit us up on Twitter. Let me know what you think about Peyton Manning, because I think I may be putting him up for trade if anybody wants him. I don't know if I should write it out, though. See, a part of me is thinking he's a Manning. I might. Okay, I think I may do a trade here. I may get Cam for Peyton. I think I may do that.
Because I really wish I had put Christian Ponder up there. I wish I was able to do that.
All right, guys. So thank you for joining us this week on Real Women Love Sports. We will be back next week, and then we will be back that following Monday to let you know what's going on with his Cowboys-Bears bet, and to let you know what happened when the Cowboys went and hog-tied themselves bare. So we're out. I'm Tiffany.
It's Matt.
Real Women Love Sports.